Hello and welcome to another Tech Tuesday. Today we're going to be talking about cheap laptops again. Cheap laptops are definitely the main focus on my channel. I talk a lot about them. And one of the things I love about cheap laptops are buying them used, because you can often get an amazing deal on a used laptop, especially if it's an older business class laptop, especially Lenovo's, Dell's, HP's. You get something in their business class line used, you get a lot for your money. In this case, some of the things we get, just going on the outside, you get a lot of ports on this machine. You get a dock port here, you get Ethernet, you get several USB ports, you get display port, as well as the headphone microphone jack. You have the the SD card reader here on the bottom. On the other side, you get more USB ports and a VGA port. So you get 2 video out ports on this. So you have tons of connectivity on this laptop. You also get a Core i7 CPU. This can be upgraded to 16 gigs of RAM. It can have not one, but 2 SSDs in this machine. You also get a fingerprint reader. This particular model has just a 1600 by 900 resolution screen, but you can get a 1920 by 1080 IPS screen with this laptop if you shop around a little bit. You also get a fairly decent sized touchpad, all for under $300 or so if you shop it right. But the thing that this has, as in addition to everything else, is it has a dedicated graphics card. The thing is, it's not a typical gaming graphics card. It's a business graphics card meant for more business-oriented tasks. But the question is it any good for gaming? So I have with me my trusting cooling pad. If you game on a laptop, you'll want to give your laptop some way to breathe better, because most of them on a flat surface like this don't breathe good. So this is what I'm using today. I have my super cheap non-gaming mouse, but works just fine. And I have my really cheap Xbox knockoff controller that's not even wireless. So let's get everything set up and see what kind of games we can play on this machine. Now, I'll be adjusting the camera. I tried to record this with my capture device, but it didn't work. Unfortunately, there were some issues with the resolution, so I'll go ahead and actually just capture it straight from the screen. I did try to not have to do that this time, but we'll see why here in a moment. All right, so ignore the background here. Just because of my profile, I switched between so many computers. One of the last times I had a Lenovo, it stuck this background as my background, and so it syncs it to every computer I set up. But we'll go ahead and open up Fraps, just so we can get an idea of the frame rates we can get while we're playing. And we'll start off with something more basic. Just go ahead and open up Minecraft. This is the latest version of a Java Minecraft, and we do have the switchable graphics here. So we have the AMD Radeon Pro. This is a 1 gig card, so it has 1 gig of graphics memory. Now the fan noise you hear is the cooling pad, not the laptop itself. So it is a bit loud to have it on the cooling pad, but like I said before, if you're going to be gaming on a laptop, you'll want something to lift it up from the table and let it get as much cool air as you can. Go ahead and full screen this. Do a single player. We'll just create a new world. Now this is the first time creating world, so it always takes a few moments to load up here. We are on best performance. Now as far as options, we just have the default settings. So we have a distance of 12 chunks and everything else, graphics fancy, smooth lighting, maximum, clouds fancy, all that jazz. Because that is the default. Let me do something real quick. All right, sorry. And we're getting fairly low frame rates. This is not great. It's okay. Let's see if we can make that just a little bit better here, because we're dropping down into the teens. We just go to video settings. Let's go ahead and all we're doing is dropping this to 9 chunks and the graphics to fast. And we'll go ahead and go back to the game. And just by doing that, we are up in the 30s for frame rate. So a graphic card definitely is doing something, but it's not great so far. This isn't having to drop the render distance. However, compared to other brand new sub $300 laptops, I would say that this is pretty darn good, to be honest. So, all right. Let's go ahead and throw a crafting table down here. And now we're up in the 60s. Now that it's had a chance to load and we're not looking at a whole lot of stuff, that's pretty good. I'd say that's definitely in that playable, quick area. All right, let's move on to our next game here. And we will load up probably the most requested game I ever get, and that is Fortnite. There we go. That takes forever. Now you'll have to excuse me, I do not play Fortnite. As a rule of thumb, I am not very good at it. I'm not a very good builder. So let's go ahead and just play. All right, now let's look at our settings. We're at 1600 by 900, windowed full screen. View distance is medium, shadows are off, textures are medium. This is just what it is automatically defaulting to, so we can probably drop textures and post-processing down to low if we need to. And this looks a little dark in the camera, but it actually looks pretty good on my end. So yeah, it's locked us to 30 frames a second, which I would say is pretty reasonable. This game feels extremely playable. I don't think I'm doing this person any damage. Alright, there we go. Alright, return to lobby. Alright, so let's play something else now. That was fun for a moment. Oh, and the laptop is slid as I played. Alright, we'll go ahead and close out of this. Confirm. Alright, so what's another game that we'd like to play? Let's go ahead and open up Steam here. Go ahead and open up. Let's do Grand Theft Auto. Alright, we'll go ahead and go into story mode here. And we'll check the settings, see where we're at settings wise. Alright, let's go to settings, go down to graphics. So you see right up here, it actually says video memory. It tells us how much we're using. So we only have 1 gig available. And if I try to bump it up to the native resolution, it actually pushes us right to the limit, and it actually won't let me play the game at that resolution. Even if I change some of these, I can't. Normal is as low as it goes. And so it won't let me play at native resolution. So it's 800 by 600. So we'll just go back and exit out of this and play at the resolution that it will let us play at. And again, we are at 30 frames a second. Now I've played this on other systems, and the big problem that I had with those is that it would be very laggy on input, especially when driving a vehicle. So let's see if we can't find a vehicle to drive and see what kind of input issues we have, if any. here we go. Finally a car.
Come on, lady. Don't fight.
Yeah, that is so much better. So previously, not that it makes me any better of a driver. Let me turn off the music there. But the input lag is significantly reduced from the Ryzen APU systems that I have played this on previously, to the point where this is actually playable, where on those other systems it's not even close being playable. I'm just a terrible driver and trying to drive through a camera right now, but if I wasn't, I would actually be able to play this game on this system. So I'm actually very impressed with that. It is locked to just 30 frames a second and really low graphics, but if all you had was $300 to spend on a system, and this was the game you wanted to play, or Fortnite previously, looking pretty good. We have one more game that I want to try out, and that is Rocket League. So let's go ahead and exit the game. No, that's not what I selected. Exit game, there we go. Alright, so let's go ahead and play Rocket League. Alright, so let's look at our options. Video. We are able to do resolution, native resolution. We have high texture and world details by particle. And we're sitting at 30 frames a second at least. Play, quick play. Let's see what kind of frame rates we're able to get in the game itself. We're sitting at about 20 frames per second right now. But if we can be between again, excuse me, I'm playing through a camera here, so I'm going to be extra bad. Not that I'm normally good, I just gonna be extra bad here. Alright, so that's the games we're going to play. We played Minecraft, we played Fortnite, we played Grand Theft Auto 5, we played Rocket League. All of those were at a playable frame rate, resolution, and quality. Obviously, it's not a brand new gaming laptop, but if you have about $300 or less, you can find these older workstation laptops with a dedicated graphics card, and you get a pretty darn good gaming experience out of them for the money. Especially in today's market, laptop prices are all over the place. Especially some of the new ones that I've reviewed that I bought even at the beginning of this year for about $150 are going for $200 to $300. And so obviously you're going to get a much better experience out of this system than you would out of one of those. And so I couldn't recommend one of those at this point, but I would definitely strongly recommend looking and seeing what you can find used, eBay, Amazon, for workstation laptops that have dedicated graphics cards. You're looking for Lenovo ThinkPad line, the HP ZBook line, some of the EliteBook line from HP, the Dells are the Latitude lines. So, look for those, see if they have a dedicated graphics card option available, and if they did, then find those, because you can definitely get a good deal on a good laptop. It'll last you a long time. This doesn't have every single port and option available that you can get today, but it does have a lot of availability and upgrades and options and things like that that you don't necessarily get on a cheaper computer, and get a great gaming experience on it for your money. Anyways, if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comment section down below. I'll do my best to answer those. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an amazing day.